Imagine a new jet, its wings marked by the Chinese Dragon and Russian Bear, rolling onto the runway. This is the C919, a project shaking global aviation. For decades, Boeing and Airbus ruled the skies. Now, a new challenger has arrived. The C919 is more than an airplane. It's a symbol of a deepening alliance between Moscow and Beijing. As it prepares for its global debut, it carries national pride and the seeds of a new rivalry. The C919 is a wake-up call for Europe's industry, jobs, and global standing. To grasp today's significance, we need to look back. The C919 is the result of China's long quest to build its own large passenger jet, launched by COMAC in 2008. The goal rival Boeing's 737 and Airbus's A320, and fulfill the Made in China 2025 vision. Building a modern jet is complex. COMAC faced delays and technical hurdles. The first C919 flew in 2017, but relied heavily on Western technology: engines, avionics, landing gear. This dependency was a vulnerability Beijing wanted to fix. The C919 entered service in 2023, first flying domestic routes to build a track record. State support and guaranteed orders gave COMAC stability and time to refine the jet. But the real ambition was global: to win international certification and reduce reliance on Western suppliers. Progress on certification has been slow, blocked by politics and regulation. That's where Russia enters, transforming the C919 from a national project into a symbol of a new Eastern aviation bloc. Russia's entry into the C919 project is a game changer. With Soviet-era expertise but limited resources, Russia needed a partner. China was the perfect fit. The collaboration deepened with the integration of Russian technology, especially the PD-14 jet engine. By replacing Western engines, the C919 becomes sanction-proof, an alternative for countries wary of Western pressure. This partnership de-Westernizes the C919, creating a truly Sino-Russian product and a parallel ecosystem outside Western control. Russian know-how in advanced materials is also being integrated, improving performance and reducing costs. For Russia, it's a lifeline for its aerospace industry. For China, it's a leap towards self-reliance. Together, they're building a credible, independent challenge to the established order in the sky. The C919 is now more than a jet, it's a strategic tool. The Sino-Russian partnership was built on strategic steps. In late 2024, leaders announced the Strategic Aviation Initiative, setting a roadmap for integrating the Russian PD-14 engine into the C919R. By early 2025, Russian engineers joined COMAC in Shanghai to adapt the engine, with the first C919R airframe under construction by June. Both governments poured resources into the project, showing political will that surprised the West. In October 2025, the Eurasian Aviation Certification Authority, EACA, was established in Kazakhstan, offering an alternative to Western regulators. Its first task: certify the C919R, bypassing Western hurdles. As of November 2025, COMAC has over 1,500 C919 orders, mostly from China, and Aeroflot has ordered 100 C919Rs. Other countries in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are showing interest. The growing order book signals a captive market, independent of Western approval. The C919R is now backed by a new regulatory and financial ecosystem. This is more than a jet, it's the foundation of a new aviation bloc. The West is watching, and the stakes are rising. The Sino-Russian C919 alliance has sent shockwaves through Europe. For Brussels, Paris, and Berlin, it's a direct challenge to Europe's strategic autonomy. The C919R blurs lines, making it harder for Europe to engage with China without supporting Russia's sanctioned industries. Policymakers face a dilemma: risk economic ties with Beijing, or accept the erosion of their industrial base. The creation of the ACA challenges the global order in aviation safety, threatening to fragment standards and complicate travel. This is part of a broader trend: non-Western powers building rival institutions. The C919R is also a diplomatic tool, offered to developing nations as part of broader economic packages. For countries seeking to modernize fleets without Western strings, the C919R is attractive. This expands Beijing and Moscow's influence, weakening traditional Western ties. The alliance is redrawing the map of global aviation and diplomacy. The economic threat to Europe is real. Airbus, a symbol of European collaboration, faces a direct assault on its most profitable market, single-aisle jets. The C919R targets the Airbus A320's territory, threatening jobs and revenue across Europe. China's fast-growing aviation market, locked in by state orders, could shut Airbus out of future sales. Forecasts suggest the C919 could cost Airbus up to 20% of projected single-aisle sales over 2 decades, hundreds of billions in lost revenue. COMAC's state backing allows it to undercut Airbus on price, distorting the market. Airbus, answerable to shareholders, faces a state capitalist rival with deep pockets. The ripple effects threaten thousands of suppliers and jobs across Europe. A decline in A320 orders could mean factory closures and economic pain in regions dependent on aerospace. This isn't just about planes, it's about Europe's industrial future. The competition is fierce, and the stakes are high. Europe's response will shape its economic destiny. The C919R is forcing a reckoning for Airbus and its partners. The C919 alliance is causing anxiety in Europe's industrial heartlands. In cities like Toulouse and Hamburg, workers fear a slow decline in manufacturing, echoing past losses in other sectors. Union leaders demand action to protect jobs and ensure fair competition. The aerospace industry has long inspired young Europeans to pursue science and engineering. A shrinking sector could trigger a brain drain and weaken Europe's innovation capacity. The C919 threatens not just current jobs, but future opportunities. The debate over Europe's industrial strategy is intensifying. Calls are growing for more assertive defense of strategic industries through research, trade policy, and public investment. The C919 is a wake-up call, exposing vulnerabilities in Europe's open economic model. The social fabric and cohesion of Europe are at stake if a flagship industry falters. Experts weigh in on the C919R's impact. Dr. Elara Vance calls it a Trojan horse, masking ambitions to divide the West and rewrite trade rules. Analyst Rohan Gupta says the C919 isn't a technical match yet, but its political appeal is strong. General Marcus Richter warns the technology could shift military balance in Europe and the Indo-Pacific. Dr. Li Wei warns of a race to the bottom. Subsidies could hurt suppliers and innovation. Europe's best response: double down on breakthrough tech like hydrogen-powered flight. The next decade will decide who leads the skies. We stand at a crossroads. The C919 is more than a jet. It's a symbol of shifting power and a direct challenge to Europe's prosperity and leadership. Europe cannot afford complacency. The answer: invest in next-generation aviation, keep Airbus at the forefront, and work with allies to uphold fair trade and safety standards. Europe must respond with unity, innovation, and resolve, not protectionism, but realism. The aerospace industry is proof of what Europe can achieve together. Now, that achievement is being tested. The response will define Europe's place in the world. The roar of the C919 is a wake-up call. Europe must answer, securing its industry and future. The sky is the new frontier, and Europe must be ready to win.